Domestic violence or domestic abuse, it's one thing that has been rampant for a period of time now. Like people say domestic violence is when you want to gain control over a person. Why should a human go through that length just to gain control over somebody? Welcome to yet another exciting, educative episode of Matter Africa. Today we will be discussing domestic violence or domestic abuse, whichever one. And my name is Suwaira Hamza. Our guest today is the founder of Lifesaver Ambassador International. She is a preacher, she is a writer, she is a whole lot which she will be telling us. And she is no other than Dr. Mrs. Juanita Owendo. You're welcome.
Thank you.
So, what led to you having a foundation that has to do with women?
I have a passion. You know, when you have a passion, you go extreme ends to make sure you do something. I find out what women are going through in Africa, not just in Nigeria. Women are going through a lot. And you find out that many of them will not speak out, they die in silence. Because they don't know the best and the right person to talk to. They can talk to you today and hear their news in the market. So they better stock in themselves and die with it. And many of them are going through hardship. And because of my passion for womanhood, I decided to go for a research and find out that women really need a push. On that background, I decided to have that's my second NGO. I have an NGO called Women in Africa for AIDS Initiative. It's all about women empowerment. Then Lifesavers Ambassador, just to tell you how deep I am when it has to do with women activities. Because I believe that a woman makes up a nation because she gives birth to the children. And I also believe a woman is a very hardworking being. All you need is just a little support.
Yes.
A little support, she will go far in life. And I also find out that there is so much in a woman that the world have not seen and harvested. That if time and opportunity is given, you find out that a woman will make this world a better place. So I decided to get a platform where they can be able to speak out, number one, and also we link together and see how we can be of a good help to them in the area of partnership. So that's why we decided to put up this Lifesavers Ambassadors.
So for how long have you been with the foundation?
We have Lifesavers per se. This is our 5th year of running Lifesavers Ambassadors.
In your own opinion, what do you understand by domestic violence?
If you allow me to interpret on my own, use my own language.
Just go ahead.
I think domestic violence is the ability to violate a woman's rights. For every woman has her right, and every man has a right. So when you talk about the violence aspect of it, is violating somebody's right. That is to going extreme to do what you are not supposed to do to the person, dehumanizing a human being. That's what I look at. That's my own definition.
Do you think the society are part of the reason why women are being violated?
The society?
Yes.
You mean our government per se?
Like our society.
Our society. Yes, they are part of it. I will say yes, they are part of it. Because women are exposed to danger. And these days, women are meant to do most of the things they are not supposed to do those days.
Yes.
So in that aspect, men takes advantage of them. There are some things that in those days is meant for men. You know, women goes out of their way now to make sure if it's a married one, the home is in place. There's food on the table, making sure that nobody knows what is happening. In those days, it was not just the work of a woman, as per se. On that point, you see the woman going extra mile to make sure there's food on the table. At that point, she can be violated. People can mishandle her in that process. The society also needs to put up a law, although they say there's a law, but it's not active. That is protect. I'm talking from the perspective of a woman. That a law that can protect women's rights. You know, when it is active, some people will be afraid to do so because they know law will come after them. But when there is law and it's not effective, so people don't care. They go ahead doing what they want to do because they know nobody comes after them. Worst get to worst, they get them arrested. They sort it out, they go. So that's why I said the society also contributes to these domestic violence. Yeah.
Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, this is Matter Africa on Television Nigeria. Today we're discussing domestic violence, and with me is the founder of Lifesaver Ambassador International. She's also the founder of Women in Africa for Aid Initiative. She's a writer, she's a preacher, she's a mother. You're welcome back, ma'am.
Thank you.
What's your opinion on women being violent themselves, like in the case of Mariam Sanda? Everybody say, or the society believes she murdered her husband, but nobody knows actually what she has been through in her home. What are these things that bring out the ugly parts of women?
Thank you so much. A lot of things can lead a woman to that point. Like I said before, many things has been happening. You are keeping to yourself. Your heart have a capacity. There's a point it will get to. It looks as if you want to explode. At that point in time, the devil have every opportunity to make use of the things that have been happening to you you have not shared with anyone. Because when you share, someone can give you a good counsel that can make you ease off. But when you have no one, you are storing and storing. You get to a point, you will say, if it is tomorrow, let's end it today. So that is one of the things. If we can be able to have a good counselors, if we can have, I know we have women commission for women affairs, but if we can just establish a commission, a counseling commission for women, where they can be able to go there, speak out, and when they speak out, action should be taken. I think that will also be able to reduce women being violent, because what they are doing, they are taking the laws in their hands. See, no one defends me, let me defend myself. So, but if the government can look into it, and say, let's have a counseling commission for women. Get people that are qualified, that when you have some issues you know you cannot be able to stand, you go to this commission, share, get a counseling, and if it is what they should take up, they will take it up immediately. That will also help so much. And secondly, women per se should also have to work on themselves. Work on ourselves. Like you are talking of the young lady, they talk about anger. Yeah, there's nobody that do not have anger, including you that is seated down here with me and me. But your ability to control it makes you a mature person. Everybody have it. So we women have to look for a way to control anger when it comes. Like I used to advise people, when it gets to this point, leave the environment. Not because you are not running away, or you are weak, or you don't have what to do. But you are leaving the space for a while, not to allow the devil to take the advantage of what is happening to cause more havoc. You can leave for that moment. When your mind is calm, you come back and see how you can settle things amicably. And another area is who advises you. Some of us women have some bad advisors. At times you think they're advising you based on love. You don't even know their ulterior motive. Maybe where you are or what you are doing, they don't really appreciate it. They are envying you in aspect. So that counsel might be based on how to bring you out of where you are. They too wish to be, they are not. So you have to also know who counsels you. Because some of the actions women take is based on what their friends have said. If it's me, I won't take it. But if it's them, they will swallow it. If it's me, I will slap him. But if it's them, they will kneel down and beg. Who counsels you is very important. Who is your counselor? Who do you work with? Who do you associate with? These ones are very, very important. These are the area we also will look into. Someone you talk to when you have an issue. If I have an issue, I'm talking to someone that have the same issue. Of course, you know what the advice will look like. So women should also work in that aspect. As a bishop, I will come in to say, also prayers is important.
For how long have you worked on this?
When you find out you have become a victim of anger, all you need to do is to start putting it in prayers. And with God helping you, you can subdue it. It won't get to a point you will murder someone. You see, no matter what we go through, the society cannot clap for you that you murdered someone. No matter what you say, no matter whatever allegation you will put up that is the reason why, the society will not clap for you. So the best thing is, instead of you to be violent, look for a right channel to talk to for a proper counsel. If that will not solve it, separate yourself for a while. From my background as a bishop, Bible said it got to a time Moses separated from the wife. And after a while, they reunited again. I don't know if you're following me. So, when it comes to a point, counsel did not work, separate for a while. Separation is not divorce. It's just let us sit together and see how we can come back to our senses. Then we come back and go and move forward. You can separate for a while, reorientation. Somebody can reorient you and educate you and speak to you. There's a way someone can speak to you and pray with you. You come back to senses. So if you can do that, it will also help you. At that point, the devil will say kill. You are nowhere to see the person you need to kill. So that time passed, you get back yourself and know whether you still want to love or not. So these are the things I think we ladies need to put in place. And secondly, cutting our coat according to our material. Okay. Yes. You know, when we present ourselves to become who we are not, is another problem. And when the man takes you to be who you were not, and at the end you are no longer meeting up.
For how long have you worked on this?
Question comes in. The man starts reacting funny, which you cannot take. You can go violent in that aspect. So let us present ourselves the way we are. The man takes us for who we are. Not thinking I am a billionaire while I am managing. And when the man has placed me in that level and is not coming for the man to get frustrated, use the frustration on me have no choice to be violent. So some of these things, if it is tackled, I'm sure it's going to really reduce women being violent. Finally, our parents, those that still have parents, should also help out. Okay. When our daughter comes to us, this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm going through. You should be able to talk, give the person an advice that can help her rebuild her home. So we say, why will it be so? It's not possible. You can't do that to my daughter. You can't do that to my daughter. That gives your daughter wings. She can even hit the man. After all, if you misbehave, my parents will pick you up and lock you up. You can also push some young ladies to be violent because they know they have a backup. So our parents, our wealthy parents should also help so that our daughters will know what marriage is all about. Leave your father's wealth and marry the man. If we can be able to do this, I'm sure it will reduce drastically.
You're one person that's come across women that have been violated in one way or the other. What are their experience after such acts?
Number one, isolation. They isolate, many of them isolate themselves because no one to trust again. So they look at everyone as the same. Number two, what happens to them? They go through emotional torture. And if it is not controlled, they enter depression. And when you are not able to control the depression, that is when suicide comes. So anyone that goes through that need an attention. Number two, they are afraid to associate with men. It is difficult for you to convince them. I have one who had that in time past, but almost 10 years. He's still young, get married. He said, Mama, you say marriage? With a man or a woman? I said, of course with a man. He said, it's not possible. She needs a man, but she cannot. Because of the trauma she went through. So any man that comes to talk to her, she attacks, she's very violent. I asked her, I said, because the moment you want to say, I love you, I want, he said, the image, what I went through will just surface. You see the things, you see how it affects them. So it's not even a good thing. We don't even wish it even to your enemy, but the women that have gone through it need help. Need help. Some of them will shut down for life. Every good thing about them is taught. They don't think right. They are not focused. Because they have been domestically violated and tormented. Some people, it affects their health. Some. Their health will be badly affected. You see them battling with health, and many of them don't survive it. It's not something you can even wish someone. Those that went through it, at times they don't even like to associate with you, even as a woman. It makes them feel inferior. That's just it. So it's a terrible thing, and we're praying that God will really come into our homes, because it was not so in the beginning. Our fathers and grandfathers had a lovely home. It's just recently in our generations, these things started coming up and so on and so forth. So we're believing God. Counseling, mentoring, will really go a long way. And also we pastors do our best to counsel our sisters and brothers before they go into marriage to know what marriage is all about.
What's your encouragement on women to curtail temperaments? People say everyone has anger issues, but how can they deal with anger issues?
What I have to tell them to help them control their time?
Yes.
I used to be a victim. Okay. Yeah. I used to be a victim of anger, even as a pastor. You know what it does? When the church grows, it scatters. Because the day I get angry, the church must go down. But one day I said to myself, the best counseling is the one you give yourself. Let me come from my background. The prodigal son one day said to himself, I will arise and go back to my father. Why am I eating and struggling to eat with pigs while I have a kingdom? So the best counsel is the one you give yourself. I spoke to myself because you can't even talk to me. So I spoke to myself. I said, this thing is damaging a lot of things for me. I need to work on it. The first thing I did was to start prayers. The second thing I learned is when I'm angry, I don't talk. I'll just be looking at you. I will not say anything. The third thing I did is if that environment is no longer okay for me, I'll leave.
Did it work?
It worked. The fourth thing is when the heat is much, I'll start praying in tongues. This one is for me as a pastor. Some don't pray tongues. I start praying in tongues and I calm myself down. Number 5, I say to myself, learn to forgive in advance. Any point in time you are having anything with somebody, always know it will hurt you. So I begin to forgive you in advance. If I'm doing anything with you, I already have it at the back of my mind. One day it hurts me. So when that day comes, I just looked at you and I passed. So these are the measures I put and it's working for me. I'm not yet perfect. I'm still dealing with it. Because it's a beast. One at a time, it comes up. So I can also give the same advice to them. And fifth, you stop taking yourself so high. Those are things that brings anger. And when somebody do not recognize that who I in me, the anger comes. So I feel that I am equal with anybody. Of course, who am I without Christ? He picked me by grace and make me what I am. So I relate with everybody just so to say. Not that, do you know who I am? Then when they did not recognize that who you are,
angry
comes. So these are the measures I used myself and it works. And it's still working for me.
Okay. Now, on a lighter note, you're a very busy person. How do you cope being with your big portfolio and the home front? How are you able to manage? Now, on a lighter note, how do you manage your busy schedules and the home front?
Of course, you can't separate. You can't separate the two. One, you must know your priority. My family is my priority. Every other thing comes first. Second, you know that when your home is on fire, you can't even function well. Yes. When I'm angry from home, as you are here now, we release it on you. I will tell her I'm not available because I'm angry. So God helps me to manage the home very well. I know my duties. I know my roles. Another thing is, whoever is your partner should have an understanding of who you are, where God is taking you to, and what you are doing. When you have an understanding partner, you don't even have much work to do. You don't have much work to do. It's only when you don't have an understanding partner, you have a lot to explain. But I thank God I have an understanding partner who, what are you still doing? Are you not going? So he knows what I'm doing, and he's suddenly behind it. So I don't have much problem. The moment I'm at home, I am a wife. When I'm in the church, I am a bishop. When I go back home, I become a wife. I am. Take care of the needs, do all the things I need to do, put my home in order. The home will feel me. Just with my children, if my grandchildren are at home, I talk with them, Everybody enjoy and know that Mama is around. So when I'm going off on my program, they know I'm going. So I make sure I tidy the home and also do what God have called me to do.
Okay. Lastly, what's your advice to women who have passions, they want to become one thing or the other, or people who see you as a role model? What's your advice to them in pursuing their dreams?
Number 1, define your life. You must know what you want and who you want to be. That will not give you the ability, the audacity to stand the test of time. For there's nothing you want to be today that do not have a price. You must be able to define it so that when it comes, you won't run away from it. And so I didn't know it would be like that. When you define what you want to do, then pursue it. Always know there are giants on your way. Not everybody will love what you are doing, just like I am. I already know it's not everybody that loves me, but it's not my business. It's your personal business. You must know that it's not everybody that will love you. It's not everybody that will support you. If you are waiting for support from everybody, you'll be a failure in life. So you must know it. Some people will not love what you are doing. There are sycophants. Who are sycophants? They will clap, they are with you. At your back, they murder you. You must know all these things so that it will not be a discouragement to you. They are called distraction. And distraction is against distinction. So whoever wants distinction must overcome distraction. These are things you must know. Then finally, look for someone who God have helped in that area of your passion. Submit to the person. Be humble to learn. Don't be master. Even at this point in time in my life, when I go to places, I sit and listen. You won't know I know anything. At the end, I will pick one or two things and add to what I have and upgrade. And I'm going forward. So if you have passion, I advise you, define what you want. Don't just follow any trend. Know who you want to be. Look for somebody that can mentor you in that aspect. And don't be distracted. Finally, what they say should not be your priority. Because there are people positioned to say something. Why are they to say something? So that you will not continue your pursuit. And when you fail in life, the same people will be the first to announce your failure. All you need to do, forget what they say. Face what you are doing, as long as you know it's the right thing you are doing to get what you are looking for. At the end, the same people will come back to you and beg you for food, beg you for one thing or the other. So be focused. Don't be distracted. I'm not distracted. If I tell you how I started and where I am and still where I want to be, you will know. I stand alone and I face the music. If I fall, I rise. If you want to achieve anything in life, don't be afraid of falling. Don't be afraid of falling. I'm telling you. Falling does not make you a failure. It's just to sit down, re-strategize, and kick off. And stumbling is not falling, but to rise at any time you fall. That you fail in this does not make you a failure. It's only when you stop trying you become a failure. So you must know that you can fail. But does not mean you cannot get it. A child learning how to walk must fall. But at the end, he walks. So if you have a vision you are pursuing, you must have this at the back of your mind. And forge forward and keep praying. Don't forget God. Keep praying. God will bring people of like minds. People that will support you. People that will encourage you. Even if you don't have, don't worry. Keep doing it. One day, God will send you helpers.
Thank you very much, Ma, for your time. We really appreciate it. And that's the much we have on today's episode of Matter Africa. Don't forget, violence is not the way out of any situation. I'm Zuwaira Hamza. Bye for now.